Good evening. This is my 13th general election. In all general elections, different parties put forward what they hope to deliver over the years ahead. In some elections, however, there is one issue that stands out above all the rest. This year, we have such a one-issue election. The issue is Brexit, but it is not about whether we stay or we leave, since on this issue we have no say. For the last 46 years, our economy has developed within a framework which is the relationship with UK and with the EU. But at the end of this month, that relationship will be gone, overnight. Everyone here in UK and in the EU agrees that there is likely to be a cost to all our economies and that it is likely to be higher if there is no transition. We have made all the necessary preparatory administrative arrangements for this eventuality, and so has UK. But what about the impact on our economy? These are uncharted waters that we're entering. When faced with such circumstances, the only thing to do is to assume a worst-case scenario and have a plan to deal with it. This is precisely what our manifesto spells out in this year's post-Brexit National Economic Plan. We have identified the problem and we are providing a solution. In preparing this plan, I have had the benefit of having faced a similar scenario in 1988 when the GSLP took office and did a lot of preparatory work which has also taken place this time, so that we're ready from day one. We had to cope then with the loss to the economy from the MOD cuts. Instead of just trying to mitigate the loss, we came out with a comprehensive plan for an economy based on reclamation, inward investment and new industries, creating a stronger independent economy. The foundations that the GSLP laid down some 30 years ago have served our country well to this day, and now we have to deal with a similar challenge and again come out on top. There is a strong possibility that the economies of the UK and the EU will be going into recession, that is, shrinking instead of growing after Brexit. The other assumption in the calculations is that we shall leave the EU at the end of this month, or if there is a transition period, at the end of that transition in 2021. Why am I telling you that we shall still be out after the transition, even if the UK gets some sort of new deal by then? Because we have been betrayed by the EU, who have given Spain a veto so that whatever the UK gets will not apply to us unless Spain says yes. This is what they tried to do to us in 1987 with the airport deal, which I campaigned against and then, as your GSLP government, killed off in 1988. The Spanish plan now was to take us advantage of our post-Brexit economic difficulties to force us to put our sovereignty up for sale. Our plan is not just to preserve our standard of living, but to secure it for our children and grandchildren, and equally important, to see off the Spanish threat to our national sovereignty and territorial integrity. The plan for Gibraltar will be to ensure growth of at least 15% over 4 years, 2.5% in each of years 1 and 2, and 5% in years 3 and 4. This is the minimum we expect from April next year. The forecast I made in 2015 for this year's result was a new high in our economy, from 2.4 billion to 2.5 billion. I now think it could possibly come in at just under 2.6 billion. On this basis, the projected size of the GDP will be just under 3 billion by March 2024. Tough when you think that the rest of Europe and the UK could well be on zero growth or even shrinking, depending on how bad the recession gets. But not impossible. The proposals in the post-Brexit National Economic Plan set out the transformation of Gibraltar's economy into a higher value jobs and economic activity, as well as providing a dynamic, attractive and enhanced living environment for our citizens, with the provision of the 10 following projects, to which others may be added at a later stage. The projects are land reclamation, value-adding infrastructure, new logistics high-tech park, solar park, new high-value economic residency scheme, new affordable housing scheme, new elderly care homes, private and commercial vehicle parking, storage units for families in estates. It must be obvious to everyone that without a detailed plan for a new economic structure post-Brexit, any promises made in this election campaign are nothing more than a wish list. Gibraltar faces serious economic problems post-Brexit, and only our team has a detailed plan for dealing with it. Come to help us in the campaign. Make sure your friends and family vote for our 10 candidates to make us once again your government on the 17th. Thank you for listening. Good night.